The Arizona Diamondbacks finish off the San Francisco Giants by the score of 5-3 to complete a 3-game sweep of a hated division rival. Hello there, I am Michael McDermott from the AZ Snake Pit, and we're recapping game number 98 of this 162 game season. And the Diamondbacks, for the first time this year, actually impressed me in a series, doing the things they needed to do to finish off the series and picking up an impressive sweep of a divisional opponent. Anytime you win a series, and especially if you can sweep a team in your division, it's always a good thing, no matter what current status of the team is. So for the third game in a row, the D-backs played a very solid, clean game. Zac Gallen had a little bit of a rough spot in the fourth inning, but 5 innings, 2 runs, 1 earned. The second run was because Sergio Alcantara was trying too hard to get the final out of the fourth inning, and he tried to tag the ball tried to basically get ready to tag a dead duck at second base without catching the ball first, and that ended up allowing the Giants to score a run on a steal attempt. But that was pretty much the low light of the game, fortunately. That's pretty much all the Giants got against Gallen, was basically a grooved 0-2 pitch with 2 outs and then a miscatch error on a stolen base attempt that would have been an easy caught stealing. The D-backs obviously were able to play not only small ball, but they flexed a bit as well. A pair of solo home runs. Ketel Marte hitting his 10th and Josh Rojas hitting his 6th home run of the year. Both of them absolutely critical, as the team won by 2. And then the 7th inning was very satisfying to watch if you're a small ball fan. If you're a fan of small ball, some base running, some bunts, and we get to laugh at the Giants' attempts to play defense for another game. So the 7th inning started off with a bunt single by McCarthy. D-backs had a challenge the out call at first base, and I don't know what the first base umpire was seeing, but the ball wasn't even in the picture when McCarthy touched first base. Oh, well, that was an easy overturn. And then Sergio Alcantara fails the bunt on the first pitch, ends up beating the infield shift by hitting a ground ball to where the shortstop traditionally plays. Nobody's there. Ended up rolling into left center field. McCarthy, with an aggressive base running turn, easily gets third. And as the throw went into third, Alcantara ended up sneaking into second. That ended up being a low-key great base running play because of what happened in the next at-bat. Anyway, Jose Herrera, kind of the opposite in the next at-bat, swung at the first pitch and then bunted the second pitch. A beautiful bunt down the third baseline. With McCarthy at third base, it doesn't have to be perfect on a safety squeeze. Perfect bunt. Melt had no chance. I think that's one of the situations where he probably should have eaten the ball and thrown it to first and conceded the run kind of thing. But it ended up being for naught. Anyway, because after the bunt, 2 runs scored. Alcantara advanced when Belt overthrew his catcher. Making a throw on the run from short distance is actually pretty hard. I've tried it before in my failed attempt to play baseball in high school. It's really hard to make accurately from such a short distance while you're moving forward. Make a quick enough throw to get McCarthy, although there wasn't going to be a throw that did it. So then after the bunt, Herrera got caught attempting to advance to second. And when they say 20 grade speed, Jose Herrera is the guy that comes in mind. He was out by 15 feet at second. Didn't matter, though. They had the lead. Although it might have made the game a little less comfortable, obviously, because Josh Rojas, next batter, ended up clubbing a ball into the pool section. What ended up being a solo home run at Herrera on base. It would have been 6-2. Maybe feel a little bit better in the late innings, but for the most part, yeah. D-backs took a 3-run lead in the 7th, using the combination of small ball and long ball. So you like to see them win in multiple ways. After Gallen's start, so now it was bullpen time. After Gallen's 5-inning start, they went to Caleb Smith in the 6th inning. Smith pitched around a Brandon Belt walk, ended up putting up a 0. Go to the 7th inning. Smith comes out there. Originally, I thought it was a bad idea because Smith is absolutely garbage against right-handed hitters. If you look up his Fangraph splits, it is not pretty. He's really good against left. He's a matchup lefty. Although it ended up working out in a weird way because Gabe Kapler couldn't resist the cheese and ended up playing right into Torrey's hand that game. I thought Lavelle himself, aside from the Caleb Smith thing, which after the inning ended, it's like, oh, maybe in hindsight it's a good move. Well, because 1, it worked out, and 2, Diamondbacks bullpen was going to be more right-handed the rest of the way, and I thought that might give him better matchups in the later innings. So it worked out. And like I said, Torrey played Cap like a fiddle in the last 3 innings in this game. and getting all their lefties out as Noe Ramirez and Mark Melancon would get the 8th and the 9th inning. So after that, Ramirez ends up getting a pair of fly ball outs to get Smith off the hook in the 7th. Then gets a couple outs in the 8th inning. Does give up a double to Austin Slater. Mantiply comes in, and Mantiply, for whatever reason, has first batter issues of late. Ended up surrendering a single to Bell, although that was one of those things where you tip your cap to the hitter, you roll the ball down the third base line. Kind of thing. You don't expect that. Then it was 5-3. Now you're a little bit worried because usually when something like that happens, you're like, uh-oh, here we go again. But there was no here we go again. Fortunately. Melancon did give the team a bit of a heart attack in the 9th inning. A bloop single, which is not a big deal. And then he walked. Then after getting a couple fly balls, a walk sandwich between two deep fly balls to right. But he did retire the final batter on a check swing sword call. Oh, check swing call. So might have swinging at a high cutter. Of course, we all know Pitching Ninja refers to that as a sword. And ends up finishing the game off with no damage. So we'll take it. For Melancon's 14th save of the year. I believe Ramirez was the pitcher of record since he was the pitcher in the game in the 7th inning before the D-backs took the lead in the bottom half. So it was a combination of good baseball all around. The Diamondbacks have won 5 of their last 6. Encouraging signs. No, they're not a contender, but if they can continue, how long they can continue this progression is going to be interesting to see how they build for next year, kind of thing. So there's the improvements so we're starting to see some of the improvements that we were hoping to see all year. Was worried that the team was going to tailspin going into the break, but they've been a completely different team since. So coming up after an off day tomorrow, you'll want to check around Snake Pit. Jake McCarthy article due up. Want to read it? Although you know as well as I do that he should be an everyday player. And I'm going to make the argument for it there. So afterwards, after the off day, they're going to be traveling on the off day, they're traveling to Atlanta to play the resurgent Braves. The D-backs last found the Braves were still trying to figure out who they were. Took 2 of 3, but then the Braves have been arguably the best team in baseball since. So it's going to be a good litmus test for this team, see if they're actually making right. So if they take a series against the Braves, I believe that they could make some noise in the second half in the sense of, okay, build the foundation for next year kind of noise thing. So that way you add a little bit more talent with some of the pitching prospects coming up, and then Corbin Carroll likely to join the outfield mix. Perhaps we can see what they can do. Could they make a run for a wild card spot next year? I don't know. If they finish well this year, it'll be an exciting season to find out if they actually can.